Ted Bundy's daughter. I'm just gonna call her Ted Bundy's daughter. Anyway, so she called her mom Ted Bundy, right? So I mean, basically, she's calling herself Ted Bundy's daughter. So whatever. Anyway, Ted Bundy's daughter. She got exposed, and then Monica, she was sorry, not Monica, what the fuck am I talking about? Heather was like very emotional when she was saying like, we've been through this shit before, you know, we like shut down all of our concerns because we had a friend who did this shit before, we're not doing this shit with you. And here's the thing though, like Jen Shah, she was cast with with the original ladies, she was cast with them. So like I think that's why Heather like had that connection with Jen. It was because like they all started together, and like when you start something together, you do feel like that bond. And I understood like what Heather was saying, like we're not doing this shit with you. We did this already, and it was like Monica's just weaseling her way into the crowd. But you know, so but she was very emotional when she said that, and then she said that you know, she had to eat a lot of shit, and you know, even though whatever, she was like a ride and die friend, and she would go on book tours defending Jen, even though she gave her a black eye, and that was like a bombshell. Everybody was like really shocked. And then the reunion is coming up next week. It's a 3-part reunion. I'm really curious to see what Monica has to say to defend herself. And guys, like, even those who find her relatable, because a lot of people found her relatable, like, oh, you know, she's like the single mom and all of this other stuff, and she's like living in this like modest home compared to these other women. Here's the thing though, and I said this before, I said it because Jeff Lewis said it. Jeff Lewis, he was like being a shady motherfucker and coming on and saying like, he was basically insulting a bunch of housewives. And then when he got to Salt Lake City, he said that he doesn't like watching Monica Garcia because he's watching housewives for a reason. He's watching them because these women have like status and they have money. And it's like, what the fuck does Monica have? And it makes him depressed watching her. I totally get that. Like, I think Jeff Lewis is a shady mofo. But I totally get what he was saying. We are watching shows like The Real Housewives because it is escapism television. It is our escape from whatever the fuck is going on. Like, I legit am not interested in watching a single mother struggle with paying the bills, getting herself in debt. I mean, she said she couldn't afford a Louis bag, and then she's like in Bermuda, like shopping, putting stuff on her credit card. You know she can't afford it. You know she can't afford that shit. And it's like, if I wanted to see that, I would legit just like walk around with my phone, with my camera phone, like recording any random person in America. Like, I could go to Walmart and just like start recording somebody, because it's like I'm not watching it for that. So I understood what Jeff Lewis was saying, and a lot of people couldn't understand why Monica was even cast. Guys, I've said this before. I don't know, maybe you guys were like sleeping on my tea or whatever. That's my dog barking, but he's gonna have to suffer because I'm not like stopping this recording. Because every single time I stopped my recording, I had to like re-record. But anyway, okay, like, I don't know if people were like just sleeping on my tea, sleeping on my info, but I said that the reason why Monica was brought on to Salt Lake City, because she does not fit the criteria for a housewife. But people were like, why the fuck is she even on? She was brought on because the storyline angle for season 4 was going to be about Jen Shah. It was going to be about her arrest. It was going to be like, you know, the fallout from it and all this other stuff. And they legit have footage and stuff and all this other stuff, but as the season progressed and they saw how messy Monica was, they found out all this stuff about Monica and all this other stuff. Here's the thing, and guys, like, when you're cast, they run credit reports, they run background checks, and they run credit reports. They do social media, like what the hell's his name, Bo Dietl, I mean, Bravo would never hire him, but like, you know, because he's just whatever. He's too involved. You know what I mean? Like, not involved, but he's too connected to Louis and New Jersey and all that other stuff. So they would never hire his company. But when these cast members are vetted, like, they have to go through a vetting system. Like, even before they're hired, they have to go through a vetting system. So they'll ask you, is there anything that you need to tell us? Do you have any current, like, they don't care if you've been arrested. They don't care about that stuff. Like, you being arrested isn't going to like exclude you from an employment. This is, and I want you guys to understand this. When you are cast on the Housewife franchise, it's no different from applying to a job anywhere else. So people were saying, well, how come like, you know, John Fuda was arrested and all this other stuff? But like, that doesn't really matter, you know? Like, it doesn't matter that he was arrested, because the like, that's not going to exclude you from an employment, and that shouldn't exclude you from employment, right? Because if you are somebody who believes that, oh, everybody deserves a second chance and whatever, something like that shouldn't exclude you from an employment either. So it's like, you know, I don't, like, I always say, I'm not a hater. Like, there's some people I like more than others on my TV screen, but at the end of the day, I don't know these motherfuckers. So I don't hate anyone. I don't stan anyone. I could be a fan of someone, but I'm not a stan of anyone. So that's why I don't understand people that are like, oh my God, he shouldn't be cast on the TV. And like, even with Teresa, people like always want to throw in her face that she went to jail. Like, are you fucking kidding me? You know how many people in America has been in jail? Like, what, you want every single person who has ever been in jail to not get a job? Like, hello, do you know the freaking homeless crisis that is going on in America right now? But anyway, so yeah, like they'll ask you questions like, are you currently facing any criminal charges? Do you have whatever? Do you have whatever? Do you have whatever? But like, they're not going to exclude you just because you've been arrested, just because you have a messy past or whatever. And again, they shouldn't. Do I know whether Bravo or Shed Media? Shed Media is the production company that does Beverly Hills, and they do Salt Lake City. Shed Media is a subsidiary company of Warner Brothers. They got moolah. They got money. Warner Brothers, big network. Big. I'm talking about billions. So they got money, which is why I always say, like, I don't know if you guys, like, I don't know if I said it on the podcast or if I said it on YouTube, but, like, I always feel like New Jersey looks like so, like it doesn't look good. And I feel like it doesn't look good because of the production company. And like, their production company is Sirens Media. Sirens Media is owned by ITV, which is a company out in the UK, but it's a public broadcast company. It's like the equivalent of PBS in the US. Now, I grew up watching PBS because I watched Sesame Street, and I'm from New York City. PBS is Channel 13. I don't know what channel it is in other cities or other states, but in New York City it was Channel 13. And that was where Sesame Street was playing, or that's where the episodes of Sesame Street would air. But ITV is like the equivalent of PBS in the UK. I mean, maybe that's why they don't have like the same money or whatever. I don't even know. But Shed Media, they do Roni, they do Beverly Hills, and they do Salt Lake City. Anyway, so yeah, like I just, guys, I'm still processing what the fuck happened last night on my television screen. But yeah, that'll be very interesting to see how this all plays out. But what I was trying to say was that Monica, she was hired not because she has that elevated housewife status. She was hired because they were originally going to go with the Jen Shaw angle. That was going to be like, what production was going to focus on. But then Monica, she was just so fucking messy, and she's great TV. She's a fucking snake in the grass. I think she's a psychopath. I think she's a freaking narcissist. She's definitely a narcissist, this one. But she is great TV. That's unfortunate. Sometimes every TV, everybody needs a villain. She kind of reminds me of Danielle Staub. The only thing is, Danielle Staub, I kind of felt like Danielle Staub was too scared. She was always, and I think it's because she was attacked so much, right? Because legit, Teresa freaking went crazy on her and then chased her, and then in the second season she chased her around a country club and whatever. So I think that Danielle is just one of those people who are kind of, I don't want to say she's a coward, whatever, but here's my thing. Even if you're going to get your ass beat, don't just stand there and get your ass beat. Fight back, right? So I never understood that. Yes, I understand that somebody might be bigger than you or stronger than you, and you might get you might get beaten up. But if you just stand there, you're going to get beaten up no matter what. So if you're going to get beat up, at least fight back. That's, I don't know. That's my mentality anyway. That's my way of thinking. But also I mean, I know people freeze, people always talk about fight and flight, but there's also a third, which is freeze. There's fight, flight, and freeze. And so I do understand sometimes people freeze and whatever, but Monica, she reminds me a lot of Danielle Staub. Danielle is very messy. She doesn't think she's kind of psychologically damaged. I don't even know what the word is. But she obviously is. She has a lot of trauma. She's somebody who's been through a lot of relationships. She's somebody who's had a lot of relationships not worked out. She's also somebody that seems kind of like a dangerous person. Not dangerous whatever. It's kind of like with Danielle Staub, right? Because Danielle Staub, she... you could tell that she has a lot of emotional trauma, childhood trauma, psychological trauma. She probably needs a lot of therapy and whatever. Monica gives me the same vibe. She has the exact same trauma, but Monica, she seems like the type that would at least fight back, whereas Danielle wouldn't fight back, maybe because she's scared or whatever, like scared to get physically hit. Like Monica, she seems like, okay, well, if I'm going to get hit, I'm going to at least fight back. She seems like that type. So, but she's giving me Danielle Staub vibes. But look, Danielle Staub, she made for great TV. Like, she was very entertaining. She was entertaining as hell. But she eventually got the boot because nobody wanted to film with her. Does anybody want to film with Monica? I don't know. She makes great TV, though. But we've seen a lot of people make great TV and not get, not come back. Look, we've seen Nene Leakes be let go. We've seen the whole entire Roni cast get rebooted. We have seen Brandy got the boot. We've seen, we've seen and Brandy was messy too. She was just as messy. She bought the drama. She bought all of that. She got the boot. Even, what's her face? Tamrat, whatever. I mean, I don't watch the OC. It's boring as fuck to me. I'm not even into it. So Tamra, she was messy as fuck. She got the boot. So I don't, even though Monica does make for great TV, if nobody wants to film with you, I don't see it working. So I don't know how that's going to navigate. There's going to have to be somebody who's willing to film with her. So who the fuck is she going to film with? Well, her only other option is Whitney. I think Whitney would film with her just so that she could stay on just so that Whitney could stay on the cast, secure her place. I don't think Monica. I like who would film with her? They would have to bring in somebody new just to film with her because it just wouldn't work. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, guys, that's it.